Is up, my woodworking friends? So I had an artist friend of mine that I do a lot of work for doing frames. He brought me this slab. I did a table for him a short while ago of a big chunk of wood like this, just shorter. Finished it off, turned it into a table so that he could use it as a display, to display work. So this is poplar. This is what the underside looks like. This table is going to get, I think they're called pin legs. They're a simple iron leg I think they're called pin legs. But this is going to be the face side, so I already did some work to it. And in about 20 minutes, with this Festool Rotex RO150, I got this top cleaned up. This is 80 grit. I'm going to switch over to 100 now. Go through the grits, it's important. And I always start on Rotex, make my pass, clean it up, and then go over to Orbital, follow that up, same grit, and I go lengthwise, and then widthwise with the same grit, same stage in the Orbit, or same stage in the Rotex, in the aggressive, and then in the finish mode. And I go through the grits. If you're starting at 80, it's important to not miss a grit. It makes your work easier so you don't have to go back and clean up. Don't go from 80 to 120. It's important. I use granite paper from Festool. Yeah, it's more money, but to me it lasts twice, maybe 3 times longer. It's just worth it. It's good paper. I have some paper that I've had for years. I don't use a lot of that grit, but it just tells you that it lasts, you know. Also, it depends how much work you're doing. So I'm going to go through this to 180, put some stain on it, put some legs on it. The underside, I'm just going to clean up real quick and just make 4 level spots in the bottom to get the tabletop to sit level. I don't care about the rest of it. And I'll dress the edges and put some stain on it and then finish on it. I'll bring it back later. What's up, my YouTube friends? Back at this table. You saw me cleaning it up, getting it flattened, and doing some work to it. This has a stain on it. This wood is pine. Nothing great, but it's what the customer had and wants, and it has kind of like a live edge on this side. Hard to see it. Not much. I added some areas down here, like in here. I just like gouged it out with my Rotex. Just a couple spots, nothing great. The clear finish on this is General Finishes Armor Seal. It's a urethane, oil urethane. It's pretty good finish, easy to apply. Looks good. It ambers the color a little bit. That's one thing with oil finishes, they amber color. Whatever you're putting on it over, it ambers it a little bit. I'll show you a little piece that's natural that has it on there. So it's really hard to tell. This side has Armor Seal on it. This side has a product called High Performance. Same company. This is a water-based product. This is an oil product. It's hard to tell in the video here, but the water-based product is more white. It's more natural looking, has no amber tint to it like an oil would do. So something with armor seal and any finish that you're not going to really find information about on the can, but you will find it on the manufacturer's website. It's cure time. There's dry time, there's cure time, and in between is a time when they call light use time. Light use time is, well, let's talk. Dry time can be either for oil-based product, it could be 12 to 24 hours. A water-based product, it could be 2 hours to recoat or less, depending on the weather. Okay? And that's recoat on the oil. 12 to 24 recoat time. On the water-based, it's 2 hour recoat time. Okay? Now, let's talk about light use time. Light use time, 7 to 14 days after the finish has been applied, obviously, and dried. Okay? Then you have cure time. Cure time can be 21 to 30 days. Cure time is when the finish totally hardens, is totally cured, and it's ready for full use. And I say abuse because that's when, that's what you buy a finish for holding up to abuse. And cure time is part of that. If you don't let it cure and you start using it heavy in those 7 to 14 days, you might see failure. It might not hold up the way you want it to. So remember that, cure time. I'm waiting for the legs to come for this table. They are called clothespin legs or clothespin legs, I think. They're this new rage now, I guess. They're kind of like bent metal rod formed into a kind of like a clothespin, really. So when I get them, I'll bring you back and show you it all on the legs and done. And that's it. We'll be back in a little bit. I'm back at this table. Here's the legs. I got the legs in the other day. So this table is so warped on the underside that all three of the legs I mounted surfacely. But instead of what I did before was I just took material off the bottom and leveled out the bottom. But this top was so twisted that I would have had to take like 1/2 an inch off of the thickness of the top. I didn't want to do that. So what I did was traced out the leg and routed it out, and it took a while to dial it in because I would do a little, put it all together, check it, see how much it was off, do a little, so just to get it right. And it sits level now, and I'm not losing any thickness from the side, and it really doesn't look any weird. It doesn't look weird. These legs are only, I think, 28 inches tall, but yeah, that's what I did to preserve the thickness of the top and deal with how bad this table was twisted on the lower side. The top is pretty flat. There's no twist up there, relatively. But I'm gonna flip it around and put the legs on and show you what it looks like with the legs on. Here's a tip. If you're going to keep removing something that's screwed on, for instance these legs, I removed them my main reason for removing these legs is for when the customer picks it up, that he can easily transport this without having these legs stick up. Okay, so a good tip whenever you're doing something like this, you want to remove a part, put it back on, remove it, and then finally install it for good. Get yourself some smaller screws to do the job the first few times, and then use whatever screw is required to install that. Over time, you keep screwing something in, you'll lose purchase, the holes get wallowed out, and you're just not going to get good contact with the intended screws. So I use something smaller. These are like a number 6. The screws for the leg are like a number 8. Just a quick tip, a little tip that may help you with that. Help you not get frustrated. Yeah, like I just did. So there it is, the top with the legs installed. You see it's a live edge, kind of. Not a lot, but it's what he gave me, and I did a little bit myself too. This has armor seal, like I said earlier, satin, about 4 coats. There's those hairpin legs, I think they're called, and it comes with little feet. I would put them on. It comes with these little black feet that kind of like that. Can you see them? They snap on. They're not very good. I had a pair just snap off, but no wobble. This table the table had about a 1/2 inch twist in the bottom of it, and I didn't, like I said, want to lose any of the thickness there. So I hope you got something out of this video with the tips in here and whatnot, and I hope you found it interesting. As always, be blessed, be well, be safe in your shop, on your job site, and whatever you're doing. Till the next time, see ya.